Imagine waking up tomorrow, your phone buzzes, and money just landed in your account. No shift, no boss, no client. Your investments paid you while you slept. That's what living off dividends actually means. And here's what almost nobody tells you. You don't have to be rich to start. You just have to hit a number. And you're probably closer to the first one than you think. So let me show you the exact numbers. From $10,000 all the way to $1.5 million. And the one rung where most people blow up their whole plan. It all runs on a 5% yield, which I'll explain in a second. A dividend is when a company you own stock in takes a slice of its profit and mails it to you, usually every 3 months. You didn't sell anything. You just own a piece of the business and it shares the earnings. Yield is just how much it pays you per year as a percentage of what you paid. So if you put in $10,000 and it pays you $500 a year, that's a 5% yield. And to find how much you need to generate any income you want, you just multiply that income by 20. Want $50,000 a year? You need $1 million invested. That's the 20x rule, and it runs through this whole video, rung 1. $10,000 invested pays you $500 a year, about $42 a month. That covers your entire streaming stack. Netflix, Spotify, Disney Plus, all of it, every month, paid for by money you already have sitting there. If you're saving $500 a month, you can reach this in about a year and a half. At $1,000 a month, you're there in under a year. Now here's the lesson at this rung. This is the engine in miniature. For the first time, money is flowing toward you instead of away from you. That $42 a month feels tiny, and honestly, it is. But it's the first dollar you ever earned without working for it, and that changes something. The whole system just clicked on, but rung 2 is where it starts working for you, on its own. $50,000 invested pays you $2,500 a year, about $208 a month. That's your phone bill, your internet, and your electricity bill, every month, automatically. Getting here takes roughly 6 or 7 years at $500 a month, or about 3.5 years if you can push to $1,000 a month. The lesson at this rung is reinvesting. Instead of spending that $208, you use it to buy more shares. Those shares pay their own dividends. That money buys more shares. You've probably heard the word compounding thrown around. This is what it actually looks like. The climb quietly speeds up without you doing anything extra. You're not just an investor as a hobby anymore. Real recurring bills are being handled by money you already own. $100,000 invested pays you $5,000 a year, $417 a month. That covers your groceries, every single month, for the rest of your life. At $500 a month saved, this takes about 11 years. At $1,000 a month, closer to 6.5. Here's the big lesson at 6 figures. The first $100,000 is the hardest part of the whole journey. After this point, compounding starts adding more each year than your own deposits do. Your money is doing more of the heavy lifting than you are. And the real secret here isn't hunting for the biggest yield number. It's finding dividends that grow. A company that raises its payout a few percent every year quietly turns a 5% yield into 8% or more on your original money over time without you adding a single cent. 6 figures. The hardest hill is behind you, but the next rung is where a lot of people start making mistakes. $250,000 invested pays you $12,500 a year, $1,042 a month. That's a car payment plus insurance or rent in a lower cost city. At $500 a month, reaching this takes around 20 years. At $1,000 a month, about 13. The lesson here is the yield trap, and it's one of the most expensive mistakes in dividend investing. Remember how yield works. It's the payout divided by the price of the stock. So when a stock's price crashes, the yield number shoots up, even if the company is in serious trouble. A 10 or 12% yield isn't a gift. It's usually the market warning you that a dividend cut is coming. Here's a real stat. Of the 60 so-called dividend aristocrats, these are companies that had raised their dividend every single year for 25 years or more, the safest of the safe. 16 of them still cut their dividend during the 2008 financial crisis. Reaching for 5% is fine. Reaching for 10% is how you lose both the income and the money you put in. Patience is the price of this rung. Pay it. $500,000 invested pays you $25,000 a year, $2,083 a month. That covers your rent or mortgage in most of the country, the single biggest bill most people have. At $500 a month, you're looking at about 27 years. At $1,000 a month, around 20. The lesson at this level is taxes, because the income is real enough now that the IRS notices. The good news is that qualified dividends, which most stock dividends are, get taxed at a much lower rate than regular income. We're talking 0%, 15%, or 20%, depending on what you earn. And if your total income is modest enough, that rate can genuinely be 0%. Inside a Roth IRA, the dividends can be completely tax-free. The practical takeaway: aim to generate a little more than you need to spend, because some of it will leak to tax. At $500,000, your housing is funded by money you already own. You could go part-time tomorrow and not feel it. Before we hit the last two rungs, and these are the big ones, the numbers everyone's actually chasing. Quick question: which rung are you on right now, or which one are you aiming for? Drop it in the comments. I go through every single one, and it genuinely helps me know what to make next. And if this is clicking for you, hit subscribe. The follow-up is all about how to actually build a portfolio like this. Now, the top of the ladder, and on the way up, there's a catch about dividends that surprises almost everyone. $1 million invested pays you $50,000 a year, $4,167 a month. That's a full, modest lifestyle. For context, $50,000 is almost exactly what the average American retiree spends in a year. For a lot of people, this is the line where a job becomes a choice rather than a requirement. Getting here takes about 36 years at $500 a month, 27 years at $1,000 a month, or about 20 years if you can get to $2,000 a month. Two honest truths at this rung, because I'd rather you hear them from me than find out later. First, inflation. $50,000 today will feel like roughly $25,000 in purchasing power about 24 years from now. That's the real reason your dividends need to keep growing, not just stay flat. Second, and this one surprises people, a dividend isn't technically free money. On the day a company pays a dividend, its share price drops by that exact amount. The company handed you cash that was already sitting in the business. It's yours, just in a different form. This is actually why the 4% rule, where you sell a small slice of any portfolio each year, gets you to the same place, often with less tax friction. Dividends feel safer to most people because you never have to push sell. That psychological comfort is real and worth something, but it's worth knowing the mechanics. The million isn't the finish line. It's the moment work becomes optional. $1.5 million invested pays you $75,000 a year, $6,250 a month. That covers the average American household's entire yearly spending, every bill, every month, while you sleep. At $1,000 a month, you're looking at about 33 years. At $2,000 a month, around 24. The lesson at the top rung is building a safety margin, and it matters more here than anywhere else. Dividends do get cut. In 2020, 1 in 4 dividend-paying companies, 333 out of 1,313, cut or suspended their payout. That's not a rare edge case. That's a real risk. So the people who actually live off this don't just hit the number and stop. They either generate 1.2 to 1.5 times what they need, a buffer built into the math, or they keep about a year's worth of spending in cash on the side, so one bad year never forces them back to work. The top of the ladder, and almost nobody needs to reach it to be free. So here's where we land. You've got 7 rungs, $10,000 to cover your streaming, $50,000 to cover your utilities, $100,000 for groceries, $250,000 for a car and insurance, $500,000 for housing, $1 million where work becomes optional, $1.5 million where the whole thing runs itself. You don't need the top rung. Find the step that pays for the part of your life you most hate working for and start climbing. The people who get there didn't find some magic stock. They started early, kept going, and let the math do the work. The first dollar is the hardest. Everything after that gets easier. So pick your rung and start today, because the sooner you do, the sooner it's your phone buzzing with money you didn't work for, paid while you sleep. This video is for education only and isn't financial advice. Talk to a financial professional before making any investment decisions.